All right, managing your environment. It is very important that you learn how to manage your environment. A lot of people want to become successful. They've been praying, they've been meditating, they've tried to do so many things, but they struggle when it comes to managing their environment. So every individual and every human being on the planet has an environment, has a background, has a set of conditions and situations and events that take place and that they come from, whether it's because of your past or it's because of your mistakes or it's because of the decisions you've made that are good or bad. Whatever it is that you've done so far in your life experience, don't blame yourself, don't judge yourself, don't feel guilty, don't feel ashamed, and don't feel too proud, and don't think that you are untouchable as such, or don't think that you can never make mistakes. It is very important to pay attention to the fact that managing your environment is an ongoing process and a continuous process and a journey that needs to be evaluated as regularly and as consistently as possible. What does this mean? Well, look, you may be very successful right now, and I'm glad that you are, and good thing, it's a great thing, but you need to pay attention to what you continuously do. So, for instance, if you are very successful right now, don't become too arrogant, don't become too proud and think that you are untouchable or you are better than everyone else around you. Your environment is very important because the people that are surrounding you are paying attention to you right now. How you handle yourself during your successful years will determine what happens when maybe you fall short in future. Not meaning that you should, or not meaning that I want you to, but in life, you always should be wise and always be willing to associate yourself with other people. Therefore, your environment is always important. So whether you're successful or whether you are not successful, so if you're not successful, then obviously there are some things that you need to change. You need to evaluate your environment. You need to find out what have you been doing that's preventing you from succeeding or that's slowing down and delaying your process and journey from reaching that point of success. Because a lot of people think that life is unfair and God is not answering their prayers and they don't know what to do and they've worked so hard but the answers are just not happening and they think that something better. No, sometimes your environment just needs to change. And remember, your environment has got to do with your thinking. So your thoughts are very important and critical, and it is very imperative that you begin to understand that you are the solution, but in the same token, you are and may be the problem. So you need to be able to look in the mirror and observe your environment, but it begins with you. So your mental environment is the most important thing. So it is environmental change, mental change. Your mind and your mindset needs to change. You need to pay attention to the way you are acting and behaving and how you are treating the people around you. So your environment includes the people that you associate with, your friends, your family, your colleagues, your associates. Everyone around you is part of your environment. Your physical environment in terms of your community, your suburb, where you live. If you've got a choice, can you move to a better place? Or are you sticking around an environment that seems to be comfortable and you know deep down inside that it is not conducive to productivity and, happiness and progress and all these things that are good for you? In other words, are you living in an environment that is not good for your progress? Are you living in an environment that is surrounded by negative doers and negative thinkers and negative energy? If you have a choice, are you able to move to a different location, a different community, a different suburb, a different city? Whatever the case might be, your environment is very important. If you can change it, you need to change it because it does delay the process of change. Of course, if you cannot change your environment and you cannot move out of where you are living right now, you can make a few changes regarding your environment. In other words, don't spend too much time exposing yourself to the environment that you don't enjoy. Also, change your thinking whenever you are finding yourself in an environment physically that you don't enjoy. In other words, if you live in a disadvantaged community, a township, the ghetto, or the slums, or informal settlements, or a community or a suburb or an environment that has a lot of negative energy or a lot of crime, just change your thinking regarding and concerning that environment. Just keep thinking about the fact that, it may be very bad in the eye, but it is changing. It is in the process of changing. I don't know what situation you find yourself in the environment, but the point is, change your thinking and try to find a solution with regard to where you find yourself. So manage your environment. It's either you're going to spend less time walking up and down or exposing yourself to that place and that particular situation and that condition, but you need to find a way to fine-tune and reprogram your thinking in relation to your environment. Your environment also includes your lifestyle choices. If you've got a choice to go between two places that will give you the same thing, in other words, you want to go shopping for groceries, or you want to go to a school, or you want to go and do something specific that you cannot avoid, but you've got an option between three places, and between these three places, the environment is different. So for instance, there's an affluent area that is very luxurious and it's filled with positive-minded people that are very successful with nice cars and nice jobs or whatever the case might be. That is location number one. Maybe that is a shopping mall where you're going to spend half your day paying for your bills or doing some shopping for groceries or paying whatever it is that you need to do. Or the location number two, which is the second mall, is an environment which is not so good. The people there don't care what they look like, and they're not so successful, and they don't really care and mind what's going on around them. That is the second location. And the third location is even worse, for instance. Maybe there it's just really disturbing, but that's the closest place that you can go to. Now, you've got three choices. Managing your environment wisely, if you've got a choice and you've got the time and you've got the resources, you should always choose an environment that makes you feel good. So if the first location is a bit further for you to travel, maybe it takes a bit longer for you to arrive at the destination, and maybe you might need to spend just a little more in terms of the traveling, the fuel, or the transportation costs. If it takes you a little bit longer, but it's a small sacrifice compared to what you're going to get in return from that environment. Because remember, you're going to invest 2 hours of your time mentally, environmentally, and emotionally, spiritually, and energetically in the shopping mall. So if this shopping complex and this shopping mall or the environment happens to be very good for you, it is very good for you to go and invest your time in that environment, regardless of the other two locations that may be more convenient but not beneficial, and maybe they might discourage you in some kind of way. Maybe there's people there that are not necessarily like-minded, that don't have the dreams that you've got, they don't care about what they look like, and maybe the energy is just unfriendly. I don't want you to think that I'm judging people and I'm judging environments and I'm judging conditions. I'm not saying that poor people or rich people should be outcasted or you should choose wealthy people over the other people. No, that's not the point. The fundamental principle here is, if you have a choice between two places and two locations and two sets of conditions that will bring about and attract separate sets of emotions and thoughts and feelings from you and evoke from you a different sense of life feelings, If going to place number one will make you feel good and going to location number two will not make you feel good, it is very sensible to go to location number one, even though it may be a bit further and it may take a bit longer for you to arrive at the destination. If it's much better for you to spend your time in that place, go and invest your time there, because that is what opens your mind. Because you spend more time with like-minded people or people that are much more successful than you. You will learn more when you associate with people that are more successful than you. So it is very important that you manage your environment. Spend more time with people that are more successful than you. Spend more time with people that you can learn from. Spend more time with people that have great dreams, great aspirations, leadership skills. Spend more time with people that talk about solutions. Spend more time eating food that's good for you. Spend more time developing habits and patterns of activity that are good for you. It is very important to manage your environment. And something else that's very important when it comes to managing your environment, the information that you expose yourself to. The television, the movies, the music, and the things that you surf and browse through the net in terms of spending time, on the internet. It is very important that you begin to understand that your mind is collecting information again and again and again, like a garden. It's like you imagine it's a garden and you're planting seeds, or it's a sponge and you're absorbing water and you're absorbing liquids, or whatever the case might be. Your mind is being programmed moment after moment. So your environment is also the information that you are exposing yourself to, including the books that you read. So if you are watching movies that depress you, if you are watching the news, like day in, day out, the whole day, the entire day, you're collecting information about bad news and corruption and the bad things that are happening in the world, you are not filling your mind and your emotions and your body with good news. So manage your environment. Watch positive, driven, informative movies that are going to make you feel inspired, make you feel uplifted, make you feel good. Not movies that are going to take you from feeling good to make you feel bad, and then at the end of the movie there's good news and then makes you feel good again. No. Don't watch movies that have concepts about cheating and heartbreaks and bad abuse. And look, I know that sometimes you think that there's something to learn, but you don't have enough time to expose yourself to too much garbage information. Fill yourself, fill your mind, fill your thoughts, and expose yourself and get yourself in an environment that's surrounded with positive information, positive energy, positive people, positive messages, positive images. Reinforce and emphasize the idea of positive messages, information, news, people, food, places, decisions, choices again and again. Gain the momentum of managing your environment with regard to these things. It's very important that you manage your environment. Look, at the end of the day, you've got the freedom of choice. You've got free will to decide what you want to do. However, it's very important that you take responsibility of the fact that your brain and your mind is collecting information. The more you collect negative information, the more you are going to live out those experiences. When you collect positive information, you are attracting more positive things in your life. It just becomes easier. Rich people spend more time focusing on solutions and rich and wealthy lifestyles. It's all about what you do in your environment. What do you do when you've got free time? What do you do when you've got a choice to do absolutely anything with your holiday, with your free time, with your day off, on your weekend? Spend time managing your environment. The more positive information and energy you pay attention to and you bring forth into your experience, the easier your life becomes. Manage your environment and make sure it is filled with 99% good news, good messages, good concepts, and positive vibes.